This is a world where elements of virtual gaming have merged with reality. Various new professions have evolved, and people can change their professions to gain more powerful abilities. There are countless ruins and dungeons, numerous mysterious realms, and monsters. In turn, individuals can also obtain experience points, materials, and even equipment to strengthen themselves by hunting monsters. However, no matter how fierce the monsters are, they pale compared to the awe-inspiring existence of the mysterious yet rare, powerful like a deity dragons. At the Dragon Kingdom 3rd School, Teacher Lai gathers the students and announces that today is the Profession Awakening ceremony. This event is crucial because it will impact not only their chances of passing the university entrance exam, but also their future success. Teacher Lai explains that the results of the Profession Awakening are randomly determined. However, he encourages everyone to believe in themselves, emphasizing that with strong determination, each student has the potential to awaken a combative profession. Lu Fan, one of the students, is excited because this day has finally arrived. He was transported to this world from a place called Blue Planet 3 years ago. During this time, he has come to understand that the world is full of various professions. These professions can be roughly divided into 3 categories. The top category is combative professionals, which includes roles like warriors, mages, and archers. These professions are highly sought after because they use powerful abilities to explore new realms, obtain valuable equipment, and receive generous rewards. The next category is reinforcing professionals, such as enchanters and alchemists. These individuals create special materials that are crucial for various tasks. However, becoming a successful reinforcing professional usually requires significant financial support. Without backing from a large family, it is challenging to develop in this field. Overall, Lu Fan is hopeful and eager to see what profession he will awaken to, as it will play a significant role in shaping his future. At the bottom of the pyramid are subsistence professions, such as chefs, herbalists, and miners. These roles are common among most people who work hard to make a living. For many, these professions represent the future and a means of survival in the world. Lu Fan's aunt, Han Qi, is a chef. Despite being only 8 years older than Lu Fan, she works tirelessly every day. She runs a small steamed bun shop to support herself and help pay for Lu Fan's education. Her dedication and hard work are evident, and Lu Fan deeply appreciates her selflessness. To improve his own life and provide a better future for his aunt, Lu Fan is determined to awaken as a combative professional. Just then, Teacher Lai receives a call and announces that the awakening platform has been set up, and the ceremony is about to begin. Excited, all the students rush out, but Lu Fan remains seated, looking around. Teacher Lai approaches him and asks if something is wrong. He reassures Lu Fan that he is the top student in the section and has nothing to worry about. Suddenly, a system appears in front of Lu Fan, notifying him that the Super Treasure Map system has been successfully activated. Realizing this is important, Lu Fan quickly joins his classmates as they head to the ceremony. As he runs down the stairs, he is excited to have received a system and wonders about its features. He decides to think about it later and focuses on joining his friends for the ceremony. The students gaze in amazement at the awakening crystal, talking excitedly about how incredible it would be if they were to awaken a hidden combative profession. The principal steps forward to announce that the awakening ceremony is about to start and introduces the priest who will lead the ceremony. Lu Fan observes the priest and notices that he has a distinct aura different from others, suggesting that he is a combative professional. Just then, the system informs Lu Fan that he has acquired a new skill called Eye of Appraisal. Curious, Lu Fan uses this skill to look at the priest and see detailed information about him, including his impressive net worth of 5 million dragon coins. Lu Fan realizes that even if his aunt sold steamed buns for her whole life, she could never make that much money. As the principal begins to call students to the platform, Lu Fan reflects on the stark difference in wealth and opportunities. When Zhang Tao's name is called, he steps forward to the platform, wondering if he will awaken as a combative professional, given that he is the top student in his section. The other students cheer him on as he approaches the awakening crystal. The crystal lights up and reveals a fireball, indicating that Zhang Tao has awakened as a pyromancer. The students are amazed and impressed by his successful awakening as a combative professional. Lu Fan is hopeful and thinks that if he can also awaken as a combative professional, he might be able to leave behind his challenging life and improve his future. As more students are called to the platform, most of them end up with subsistence professions, such as chefs or miners. Lu Fan observes that combative professions are indeed rare, and the majority of students are getting subsistence roles. A student in front of him comments that it's still a good outcome for many. He mentions Liping, a girl from another section, who comes from a struggling family and has awakened as a reinforcing professional. This profession requires a lot of money to develop, so it would have been better for her to have awakened as a subsistence professional, which could have given her some useful skills without such a high cost. Lu Fan thinks about his own situation and wonders how a reinforcing profession would affect him and his family if he were to get one. His name is soon called, and he makes his way to the platform. The students watch him closely, noting that he is handsome and wondering what profession he will awaken. As Lu Fan places his hands on the crystal, something extraordinary happens. The weather changes suddenly, and a bright light shoots up from him into the sky. Everyone looks up and sees a dragon flying overhead, which shocks them. The appearance of the dragon indicates that Lu Fan has awakened a hidden profession, something rare and special. The teachers praise Teacher Lai, noting that his section has produced the first hidden professional in the school. Teacher Lai remarks that if Lu Fan has awakened as a powerful hidden professional like a dragon blood warrior or Davitvok mage, he could become a significant force in the Dragon Kingdom and make history. Other teachers mention that it has been 10 years since someone awakened as a dragon blood warrior, and that person is now a top expert in the kingdom. As the weather returns to normal, the principal asks Lu Fan which profession he has awakened. Lu Fan replies that he is a dragon tamer. The room falls into shocked silence because dragon tamer is considered one of the less valuable professions, not as prestigious as the others. After the awakening ceremony, Lu Fan returns to his home in the old town of Zhonghai City with a troubled expression. He uses his system to check his new professional details. The teachers had mentioned that he might be destined for mediocrity because humans generally cannot tame powerful creatures like dragons. They also said that being a dragon tamer is the weakest profession in terms of practical use. One student questions why the teachers are calling Lu Fan's profession the weakest, considering it is one of the 3 major hidden professions, along with Dragon Blood Warrior and Davitvok Mage. Another student explains that most people never even encounter dragons, let alone tame them. They suggest that being a summoner might be a better choice because it's more practical. The principal tries to comfort Lu Fan, saying that although his profession is rare, it has limitless potential. He suggests that Lu Fan might be able to tame some sub-dragon species and become stronger over time. Lu Fan, however, is skeptical. He wonders how a dragon tamer can have boundless potential without an actual dragon to tame. To him, sub-dragon species seem like mere beasts compared to real dragons. Lu Fan reflects on the history of the Dragon Kingdom, which spans 800 years. Despite the many dragons that have appeared, no dragon tamer has ever successfully tamed a dragon. He feels that even the most powerful humans are insignificant compared to dragons. Lu Fan doubts his ability to achieve his dreams of taming dragons and feels disheartened. He worries about his aunt, who worked so hard to support his education, and laments that he cannot yet provide her with a better life. When Lu Fan arrives home, he steps inside with a sense of reluctance and resignation. His aunt, Han Ki, has prepared a hearty and delicious meal for him, as usual. She greets him with a warm hug, her face full of concern and affection. She eagerly asks how his day at the awakening ceremony went, showing genuine interest and care. Noticing that Lu Fan seems hesitant to share the details of his profession, she quickly reassures him. She tells him that it's perfectly okay if he didn't awaken a combat profession. She explains that she would have been worried if he had to engage in dangerous battles every day. Her comforting words are meant to ease his mind and show her unconditional support. Lu Fan eventually tells her that he is a dragon tamer. He feels a deep sense of disappointment and frustration because, without dragons, he feels like his new profession is practically useless. Han Ki, however, is unfazed by this news. She tries to uplift his spirits by saying that being a dragon tamer still demonstrates his inner strength and resilience. She tells him that, despite the profession not being as glamorous as others, it still holds value. She reassures him that she will continue to support him through college. If he feels disheartened or unsure about continuing his studies, he can always join her in managing the steamed bun shop, which she runs with dedication. After the comforting dinner, Lu Fan heads to his room, feeling weighed down by his thoughts. As he lies in bed, he reflects on his situation and feels a growing sense of frustration. He thinks about how his aunt has worked tirelessly in her profession, which, despite her efforts, hasn't significantly changed their modest lifestyle. He feels a strong desire to improve their situation and provide a better life for her. But he struggles with the realization that his dragon tamer profession might make this goal more difficult to achieve. He is anxious about how he can find a dragon and make his profession valuable. Suddenly, the system appears in his room and announces that he has received a divine-level treasure map on his very first day. This revelation surprises Lu Fan greatly. He had only explored the system's appraisal skill function and hadn't yet delved into its treasure map features. Lu Fan clicks on the treasure map, and the system immediately starts to explain how it works. The system tells him that treasure maps are categorized into 4 levels: beginner, intermediate, advanced, and divine. Each level represents the quality and potential of the treasure maps. If Lu Fan collects 3 identical low-level treasure maps, he can combine them to create one higher-level treasure map, which will lead to more valuable treasures. The system continues to explain that every day, he will receive a new treasure map with a random level and a random location. These maps will guide him to treasures that are specifically useful for his profession as a dragon tamer. Lu Fan reads carefully, understanding that these treasures could be key to improving his situation. He knows that dragon tamers are considered to be the weakest profession because taming dragons is seen as nearly impossible. Most people believe that without dragons, dragon tamers are left with very little to work with. However, Lu Fan is hopeful that by effectively using the system and its treasure maps, he might be able to overcome this challenge and prove that his profession has value. He thinks about what will happen if he gives up now. He feels that if he fails, he will remain stuck at the bottom of society and let down his aunt, who has worked so hard to support him. He realizes that this is his chance to change his fate. Determined to make the most of the opportunity, Lu Fan presses on the treasure map. The system shows him a location, Mount Shi Basin. The map notes that the region level of Mount Shi Basin is between 10 and 20, indicating it is a moderately challenging area. Lu Fan calculates that Mount Shi Basin is not far from Zhonghai City. He decides that if he catches the last suburban bus that night, he will be able to arrive at Mount Shi Basin early the next morning. The next morning, Han Qi wakes up and goes to check on Lu Fan, but he's already gone. She finds a letter from him where he explains that he's left to explore Mount Shi Basin. He tells her not to worry because this might be his only chance to change his fate as a dragon tamer. He promises to come back soon and make sure they have a better life. Meanwhile, Lu Fan has reached the edge of Mount Shi Basin. A group of people, who look suspicious, approach him. They offer to take him with them, but Lu Fan turns them down, suspecting they might be dungeon robbers. The group tries to convince him that it's dangerous to be alone in the wilderness at night. Lu Fan looks at them and thinks they must have been stealing and robbing for a long time, so dealing with someone like him should be easy for them. The leader of the group asks if Lu Fan has made up his mind, and Lu Fan starts to get upset. The leader of the group asks Lu Fan if he's ready to join them, but Lu Fan keeps refusing their offer. The woman in the group then tells Lu Fan that he doesn't understand the rules of the wilderness. She explains that the dangers of being out alone at night are much greater than he can imagine. Lu Fan thinks carefully about the situation. He realizes that, since he doesn't have any special skills or equipment right now, he should avoid getting into any fights or conflicts. He explains to the group that he is a summoner and doesn't need any help from them. He believes that if he faces any dangerous situations, he can summon elemental creatures to protect him and handle the threats. The group's leader listens and concludes that their concern for Lu Fan's safety is not needed after all. The group decides to leave him alone and move on. Lu Fan watches them go and thinks about how, even though being in the wilderness is risky, it's still safer than the danger of being attacked by robbers. He feels that living without strength is like a shadow that can be easily blown away by fate. He decides to start his journey immediately. He checks his system to prepare for what's ahead and continues on his way. As Lu Fan travels, he encounters a herd of power horn horses. He knows that these horses won't actively attack humans unless they are provoked, but he realizes he would be no match for them if they did decide to attack. So, he decides to take a detour to avoid them. Lu Fan takes a longer route but still finds himself walking through a herd of giant horn antelopes. He tries to move carefully and quietly among them to avoid any trouble. However, he accidentally steps on a frog, which croaks loudly and draws the attention of the antelopes. The antelopes become agitated and start chasing him. Lu Fan quickly turns to the side to escape, but in doing so, he injures himself. Just then, Lu Fan's system announces that he has arrived at the location marked on his treasure map. He looks around and confirms that he is indeed at the right spot. Lu Fan is hopeful that finding the treasure could change his fate as a dragon tamer. As he searches the area, he is stunned to see a dragon egg that is beginning to hatch. While Lu Fan is still processing this discovery, he hears a noise and realizes that, although things have been going well so far, he can't seem to escape the dangers of wild beasts. A bloodthirsty gray fox suddenly attacks him. Lu Fan quickly uses a knife to fend off the fox and then uses his appraisal skill to check the fox's abilities. He becomes worried because he doesn't have the skills needed to handle the fox. He decides to try to buy time until the dragon hatches, hoping to use dragon taming to deal with the situation. But before he can act, the fox attacks again. Lu Fan decides he can't let the fox use its skills against him. He uses his knife to slash at the fox and manages to kill it. As a result, he receives an increase in his experience level as a reward. He feels relieved to have defeated the fox. Just then, the shady group he had avoided earlier steps out from hiding. The leader of the group praises Lu Fan for killing the fox. He asks Lu Fan if they have been following him even though he has refused their offer to join them. The group members tell Lu Fan that there's no need for him to be nervous, even though he had claimed to be a summoner and didn't use any skills in the fight with the fox. Lu Fan offers them the fox fur if they want it, but the leader tells him that the fox fur is only worth 80 dragon coins and that's not what they're interested in. Lu Fan realizes that the group must have seen him looking for the dragon egg. They then attack him, pushing him to the ground. The woman in the group puts her knife at his neck and warns him not to move. The leader mocks Lu Fan for underestimating the dungeon robber's ability to sense treasures. Meanwhile, another member of the group picks up the dragon egg. The leader tells the woman to kill Lu Fan. Lu Fan watches in despair as the group begins to leave with the dragon egg and the lady raises her knife, ready to kill him. Suddenly, the egg cracks open and a dragon emerges, flying out. The group tries to attack the dragon, but it quickly overpowers them and kills one of them with ease. Lu Fan is amazed, never expecting a newly hatched dragon to be so powerful. As the leader of the group screams for help, the lady becomes frightened and asks Lu Fan why he didn't tell them it was a dragon egg. She gets distracted when she hears the dragon eating its shell and turns to look at it in fear. Seeing her distraction, Lu Fan seizes the chance to kick her away from him. He quickly uses his dragon taming technique on the dragon, and the system announces that he has established a black dragon covenant. The lady, who is the only surviving member of her group, begs Lu Fan to spare her, saying she didn't know it was a dragon egg. Lu Fan asks her how many people she and her group have schemed against. She starts to stammer, and he tells her to join her comrades as the dragon moves to kill her. Lu Fan tends to his wounds as the dragon looks for what to eat in his bag. He carries the dragon, telling it is too lively. He happily reasons that he has crossed the gap between the weakest and the strongest, and the dragon is so powerful right after hatching, and he cannot even imagine how strong it will be after leveling up. Lu Fan hugs the dragon, saying the title of Dragon Tamer will no longer be called the weakest soon, and he wonders what to call the dragon. As he starts thinking of names, the dragon flies from his embrace and changes into a lady with horns, wings, and a dragon tail. Lu Fan is amazed to see that the dragon can also change into a human form. He checks his system and finds that all his skills have been unlocked. He sees that his dragon inspiration skill can boost both himself and his dragon pet, giving a 30% increase in overall attributes and attack power. This boost is much greater than what a priestess buff can provide. Other skills he discovers include Dragon Fang Strike, which delivers high damage attacks, and Dragon Claw, which can turn one of his arms into a dragon's claw to deliver powerful strikes. Lu Fan realizes that his attributes are now 5 to 6 times higher than an ordinary person's. He understands that if he takes action himself, he could easily defeat other combat professionals of the same level. He uses his appraisal skill to check the dragon's details and is stunned to find out that, although he has only contracted a level 1 dragon hatchling, it has very high skills and nearly 400 points in various attributes. He concludes that, aside from ordinary humans, even a highly skilled expert who is 20 levels higher would have no chance against him. The bloodline connection skill, which doubles his attributes, is why he feels so much stronger after taming the dragon. Lu Fan proudly thinks to himself that being one of the 3 strongest hidden professions is exactly as expected. He believes that no matter how strong other hidden professions are, they can't compete with the dragon race. Without a doubt, he thinks, the dragon tamer is the strongest hidden profession. Lu Fan's attention shifts to the dragon, who is now eating the remnants of its eggshell. He realizes that even though the hatchling can change into a human form, it still acts like a dragon. Lu Fan thinks about what to name the dragon and decides to call it Xiao Yi since it's a small black dragon born during the night before dawn. The dragon seems to like the name. Lu Fan then asks Xiao Yi if she's hungry, and she nods in agreement. He suggests that they go hunting for monsters to fill her stomach. Lu Fan reasons that they can't just head back because there's an important trial coming up soon, which will determine whether he can enter the university. He knows that many students are probably trying to improve their qualifications by seeking opportunities outside. He also thinks about the prestigious Top Scholar Award in the Southern Province and the qualification for the highest educational institution in the Dragon Kingdom, which he used to dream of achieving. Now that these goals are within reach, he knows he must stay focused and prioritize leveling up and mastering his skills. Lu Fan tells Xiao Yi they should head deeper into Mount Shi Basin, where there are monsters that will be more satisfying than eggshells. Xiao Yi agrees, and together they set off on their journey. As Lu Fan and Xiao Yi continue their journey, they come across a group of plains hyenas charging toward them. The system shows Lu Fan that these hyenas are more dangerous and tougher than the gray fox they fought earlier. He thinks he has a chance to fight them, but suddenly Xiao Yi flies up into the air. Lu Fan proudly declares that Mount Shi Basin poses no threat to him, the strongest dragon tamer, and his dragon. Xiao Yi breathes a stream of lava flames onto the hyenas. As the hyenas are defeated, Lu Fan's level increases to 11, and Xiao Yi's level keeps rising. Lu Fan watches the level increase from a distance and decides that they shouldn't waste time on these small enemies. Just then, a huge monster appears. The monster is a 3-headed blood lion at level 25. Lu Fan knows that normally it would take a strong team of monster hunters to approach such a powerful monster. Despite this, he tells Xiao Yi that they should go ahead and attack it. As they prepare to charge at the monster, it roars loudly, which increases its defense and attack power for a short time. The system alerts Lu Fan that the monster is getting ready to use its triple flame skill. Lu Fan instructs Xiao Yi to work with him to interrupt the monster's attack. Xiao Yi responds by creating a massive fire and transforming into a dragon. She uses the Mighty Jaw Assault skill to bite the monster, while Lu Fan uses Dragon Fang Strike to hit it as well. Together, they defeat the monster, which falls to the ground dead. After killing the monster, Lu Fan's level increases to 14, and Xiao Yi's level rises to 9. The system then announces that the treasure map system has been activated, and a new treasure map for the day has been sent. Lu Fan is curious about the exclusive item for dragon tamers that the new map might lead to. He tells Xiao Yi that they should go treasure hunting. Deep within Mount Shi Basin, a group is having a serious discussion. Among them is a lady holding a staff, Qin Qiu, whose combat profession is unknown. She asks if they should let this rare opportunity slip away. A man named Sun Ji, who is a warrior, responds that they don't have a choice. He explains that the fortuitous realm requires at least 5 people to be activated, and they don't have enough people to open it. He suggests sending Miss Kai, another lady in the group, back to Zhonghai City to gather more people. Kai, who is a rogue, disagrees, saying that even with her agility, it would take a day to make a round trip to Zhonghai City and back. Qin Qiu adds that the fortuitous realm appears randomly, and, although it offers better rewards than regular dungeons, it only lasts for 24 hours. So, a day is definitely not enough time for them to return with additional help. Sun Ji tells Qiu that she does not need to worry much, as with her strength, if she enters one of the top 10 academies, they will definitely provide her with opportunities, and Qiu admits that she knows he is right. Lu Fan passes by, which agitates the group as they prepare to attack. He tells them there is no need to be nervous as he is just passing by. Ji says he has a dirty look and the area is not where a material hunter should be. Kyu stops Ji and introduces herself to Lu Fan, saying they are from the Qin family in Shanghai City. She asks him if he can temporarily team up with them, and he does not need to do anything, just to enter the Fortune's secret realm with them, and after they succeed, they will pay him a reward of 100,000 dragon coins. Lu Fan thinks that for the richest family in Shanghai City to want to enter this realm, the final rewards must be very rare and valuable. Qin Q tries to persuade him, saying that they just need to gather enough people to meet the requirements of the realm. She tells Lu Fan that he doesn't have to do anything special to earn 100,000 dragon coins. Sun Ji adds that such opportunities are rare and they need to act quickly. Lu Fan replies that he's not very interested in the money, but is willing to cooperate according to the rules. Everyone looks at him in surprise. Kai then asks if he wants to split the rewards from the secret realm based on performance. Lu Fan agrees with Kai's suggestion. Qin Q notices that their average level is around 20 and thinks Lu Fan looks weaker than them. She wonders if he's confident in himself or just arrogant. She then says that since Lu Fan wants to cooperate, they will team up in a cooperative manner. She assures him that the promised 100,000 dragon coins will still be available. Lu Fan shakes hands with her in agreement, and they all prepare to leave. Lu Fan thinks about how revealing Xiao Yi's identity to strangers in the wilderness might cause trouble. So, he decides that he will keep Xiao Yi hidden until he has obtained the secret rewards before summoning her. As they enter the secret realm, Sun Ji notices that Lu Fan doesn't have any visible equipment and asks if he's empty-handed. In response, Lu Fan summons an impressive ink dragon deer antlers sword, which he obtained after defeating the three-headed blood lion. Sun Ji is surprised and remarks that Lu Fan's weapon looks extraordinary. He had previously thought Lu Fan was just a material hunter and asks if he is a newly transferred student. Kai interrupts, saying there's no need for Ji to pry. She warns Lu Fan that if he has any hidden motives, she will deal with him immediately. At that moment, some decaying zombies, which are level 15, suddenly appear and nearly attack Sun Ji. Xiaojia, a knight and also part of the group, quickly kills the zombies. Lu Fan watches the fight and uses his appraisal skills to check everyone's information. He notes that the team composition is quite effective, especially with Sun Ji, a level 28 warrior who is close to advancing to a higher class. Qin Q uses her staff to cast Holy Light Star Rain, a skill that gathers energy and releases starlight rain. This attack deals holy damage to enemies over a range and provides equivalent healing to allies. She explains to Lu Fan that her class is the Hidden Holy Light Mage, which can perform both offensive and healing roles. She notes that while her current damage output is lower than that of mages, and her healing is not as strong as that of priests, it's still quite effective. Lu Fan observes that her holy damage is particularly effective against the zombies. Just then, the ground begins to shake, and he realizes that an elite monster has been alerted. From the sound, it seems there are several of them approaching. As a group of level 20 bloodthirsty zombies appears, Sun Ji tells Kai to protect Qin Q and Lu Fan, while he and Xiaojia hold the front line to stop the zombies from breaking through. They begin fighting, and Ji uses his skills to kill one of the zombies. Xiaojia manages to stab another zombie, but he struggles to pull his weapon back. The zombie's body stretches and starts wrapping around his sword, trying to reach Jia's hand. Lu Fan uses his appraisal skill and discovers that the zombie is using a skill called Corpse Poison. This skill causes any attack to infect the target with poison that not only harms the victim continuously, but also heals the zombie. Jia continues to struggle with his sword, and Lu Fan realizes that the poison can only be dispelled with a priest's Purify skill. Since Qin Q is a holy light mage and not a priest, she can't help. Jia calls out for help, and Sun Ji tells him to let go of his weapon. He asks Kai to come to the front to protect Jia while he assists him. Lu Fan then steps in and says that there's no need to trouble Kai with this. He offers to handle the situation himself. What will happen next? Will Lu Fan be able to defeat the bloodthirsty zombies himself? Or will he require the help of Xiao Yi? How will the group react when they finally get to know that Lu Fan is a dragon tamer? Let's watch out for that.